that helped me with the channel. Justin McRae is back. He will be in attendance for the big event that's going down in a few hours. Some tickets are still available, but the event is pretty much sold out, so grab your tickets. So, hey, Jay, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing today, Town Business?
Hey, first of all, appreciate, man, all the help you then gave me, the advice on how to make the channel better. So, this was one of the dudes that helped me make the channel better, improve the channel. One thing about me, I listen to people that got knowledge, and if you wonder why the channel got better over the past couple of years, this is one of the guys to thank. So, shout out to my Bay Area boss, promoter, consultant extraordinary, do it all. So Jay, man, just give us your breakdown on the fight tonight, and then we gonna talk about some other stuff because you got a lot of stuff to drop. You about to expose some people on their lack of knowledge.
I mean, like, look, what I see tonight, I mean, I have Devin. I mean, Devin's the nephew for the Bay. He our nephew. I mean, but I have Devin winning by unanimous decision. I think Devin's 138 amateur career fight or background fights is what's going to prevail. That's what's going to be tremendous over Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis started relatively late in boxing. He started off at 17, so that's kind of late in the game. That's why I typically tell people that have kids that want to fight to start them off really young. Devin started off when he was 8 years old. So he's able to learn certain things in those 138 amateur fights. I don't think Regis Prograis can have 50 amateur fights. If he does, that's still low. So I think the amateur pedigree in Devin Haney will prevail to a unanimous decision over Regis Prograis.
Eddie Hearn had said that he believed this fight is going to end in a stoppage. Do you think it's possible Devin could get the stoppage? And do you really play into this whole thing about Devin Haney not having no power and that there's no way possible that he could stop Regis Prograis? I mean, is that, out of the realm? Could he stop Regis Prograis?
I mean, the thing of it is, if the knockout is there, it's there. It doesn't always have to end in a knockout. It's about getting the job done ultimately. That's the whole key to boxing. And Devin's a boxer, so therefore, like I said, his amateur pedigree and his boxing abilities should prevail over Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is a late learner in the game. So like when they had the face-off, Devin made a key point. He said, "You're 34 years old, still trying to get better." Devin can get better because he's younger, and he started off younger. So a lot of things was put into him, that's starting off at 8 years old. So that's a key element that they had in their face-off that Devin touched on.
Do you think Devin, due to the fact that he's moved up in weight, he's at 140 now, and to me, he looked a little more healthier this particular time around than he did in the last fight? What's your take on that?
I looked at the eyes, like when he weighed in. The eyes, they looked more. He didn't look sunk in. It looked more. He looked more better. Like he took the weight off. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Can you explain that, Jay, for these people that don't understand, like sunk in and that kind of stuff?
Well, typically, if I fight at 140, and we have to weigh in at 140. Typically, I weigh 155. And that's what a lot of fighters weigh. They usually weigh 15 to 20 pounds over their weight. So it's tremendously hard. It's tremendously hard coming down the weight to make weight.
All right, so I wanted to ask you some questions because people was telling me to ask you this the next time because they've been asking me to get you back on here because they said that you have a lot of knowledge of the sport. So, Jay, tell us your history once again and, how you started getting into promotion and how you brought fights back to the Bay Area, which probably led to us getting fights like these.
Could have been. I started off back in 98, 99. I wanted to get Roy Jones Jr. to fight in Oakland. So Roy had just left a promoter named Murad Muhammad, and he had a massive deal with HBO. he hired a guy to run his company called Square Ring named Brad Jacobs. Roy told me to call Brad Jacobs. Call Brad Jacobs. Me and Brad Jacobs hit it off. Brad Jacobs currently now runs Top Rank. And we hit it off. And we just, and I learned a lot from him. And I started to promote my own fights, in Oakland at the Oracle, the Oakland Coliseum. And I worked with Dan Goosen, the late great Dan Goosen of Goosen Tutor. And I've just been around the sport almost 25 years now, and I know a lot about the business. So, it just morphed into that for me, And I look to do some good things in the future. I still got a lot of more time. You look at Bob Arum, he's 90-some years old today, 91 today.
Nah, he like 90, maybe 92.
92.
He up there.
With Don King.
92, 91.
Okay, Al Heyman like 70. He my dad and mom's age. So, I'm 51. So, and I still have a whole lot of things that I want to do. Thrills. That I want to implement. For boxing.
Well, you said you had some big things on the horizon. I mean, if you can just give us a little bit of intel on what's going on with you, because what you told me, I think it's about time, and I'm liking what I'm hearing.
Well, I got a couple projects that I'm working on. One specifically targets the boxer in their future. I'm really big on it. I really feel that boxers should be, guys that risk their lives. They should have, and I'm gonna touch on this. I'm gonna give you this. They should have lifetime medical. Let me say that. It should be, a boxer shouldn't have to, they should be able to be taken care of in terms of having medical. They should have sufficient and adequate medical care. And I'm gonna fight for that. That's on my horizon. That's in my plans to make sure that that's done. Before I leave this earth, to make sure that these boxers get lifetime medical.
Do you believe that these boxers should have what you call like at least? Do they have like a pay scale, like at least a minimum? I know there's no maximum, but is there at least a minimum of how much they can make just starting off, whether they in fight 1 or fight 36? Is there at least a minimum?
Well, that's hard. That varies. I mean, it's really hard to get to have a scale like to where it's like, you make some X amount of money. It's really about, like I said, I always talk about, it's really about what the promoter does and what the fighter does. Everything has to go hand in hand. I mean, you have to market yourself as a fighter. You have to be able to do everything. You have to train. You have to show up. If you show up the night of the fight and you give exciting fights, that's gonna strengthen, your next fight. You're gonna make more money your next fight. It's all about fans. The fans have to be thrilled. That's what this sport is about. But if you have everything in place, you have a good manager, you get a good amount of money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, then you'll be good. After boxing, and that's what it's all about. Being good after boxing.
Okay, I wanted to ask you another question because it's a lot of falsehoods that's been going on. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, be prepared. Me and Jay, we don't pull no punches, and if he name names, he name names. It is what it is. I wanted you to shed some light on some of these falsehoods that you've been seeing with a lot of content creators, and I want you to explain to people, aka as Public Enemy once said, don't believe the hype, about some of these content creators that's just putting out falsehoods about the sport of boxing, just basically making up shit.
Well, a lot of the guys on YouTube, I mean, they don't even show up to fights.
Facts.
You're about to go to Devin Haney's fight. You're about to in fact, you've been here through the whole fight week pretty much. Working. A lot of guys, they create these false headlines to lure the YouTuber in, the person that watches YouTube in. And then they create these false narratives, with the content, and the lure might not even match the content. They might say something outrageous in the headline to get you to watch it. But then when you watch it, they never speak about the headline. You know, they never touch bases on the headline. So, you know, it's all about creating false propaganda to generate YouTube hits. YouTube hits translating to money. You know? So yeah, I don't like all that fake ass shit.
I mean, do that bother you? Like how much on the scale of 1 to 10 that bothers you when you see these guys? And particularly, I have to ask you this: what do you find strange about these attacks that you've seen over the past couple of years on Terrence Crawford? I mean, what do you think? I wanted you to shed some light on that because I know me and you have talked behind the scenes, and we both to the boiling point. Like, why? Like, where's this coming from?
That's because a lot of the content creators, they fall in love with one particular fighter. They fell in love with Errol Spence, but if they had any knowledge of the sport, they would have been paying attention to what Roy Jones said, to what Mike Tyson said, to what all the greats said about a Terrence Crawford and an Errol Spence fight. Those guys told you that Terrence Crawford was going to win, you know, but you didn't listen. And now that Terrence Crawford proved it to you, you want to create, you know, you want to say he's using steroids, you want to say all this bullshit, and you know you want to keep creating these headlines on YouTube speaking on it. You know, when the man beat him fair and square, you know, and that's all that counts. The man beat him fair and square, you know. But we gotta stop creating that. We gotta stop lying. We gotta stop faking. You know, because you're making the boxing game look bad, and you don't even get off your couch to go to an event. You're sitting on your couch in your room creating all this beef, all this bullshit.
Yeah, Jay, I wanted to ask you, do you think to a certain degree it's disappointing that most of the people, and I'm gonna go there, and we didn't talk about it, do you find it more disappointing that most of these attacks that have came against Terrence Crawford have been basically by people like us from our own community?
Yeah. I mean, and that's a shame. You know, Terrence Crawford do a lot of positive things for boxing. Terrence Crawford came out here from Omaha to help Devin Haney get ready for
Kambosos 1.
Kambosos 1 and 2, maybe.
Yeah.
He came out there and trained with him. He goes and trains with Shakur. I mean, Terrence Crawford is like a big brother role model. Terrence Crawford takes care of his kids. You know, he's at his kids' track meet. I mean, so, and he's a hell of a talent. Why would you want to tear that down? You know, as a black man, as a person that loves boxing, you know, why would you want to tear that man down when he went in there and he beat him fair and square? So yeah, man, like that, the shit need to stop. You know, we need to that YouTube need to start censoring that bullshit and not letting it get paid off of it. That's what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? YouTube need to censor that bullshit.
So I wanted to ask you something. I don't know if you heard about this. We know Eddie Hearn said that the fight sold out pretty much, you know, and they went based off sections. You know, they, as the fight started selling well, they started opening up more sections. But I heard Tank say something that kind of like bothered me, and I wanted you to shed some light on it. Tank basically responded when the fight was announced that it was sold out. He said, well, you should sell out if you selling tickets for $57. And I thought that was kind of weak.
I think, I'm going to keep it real. Eddie Hearn did it really smart. He started everything in September. And he did a pre-sale. Now, he sold some of the floor for a certain amount. And once he seen that it was hot, that it was going to be a hot seller, then he raised the prices. He didn't sell no tickets for $50. He might sell those ones on the moon right now for $50 because he just want to sell out. But he sold pretty much the lower bowl the first
week, maybe 9 days, right?
Something like that. He did some thousands in the first week, and that's not bad. That's not bad at all. You know what I'm saying? Because it shows it's an anticipated event that people want to show, people want to patronize. You know, so he did it right. He did it smart. It's always best to allow yourself time in a promotion. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I've seen big promotional companies, they'll go on sale like a month before. That doesn't give you enough time. You know what I'm saying? To allow the fanatic to go out and purchase tickets. You know, some people got a plan to go spend $300-400. That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So if you give a person an opportunity, yeah, they can do it. And then this is what Eddie Hearn did when he knew that he was going to come here. He immediately got it on sale. He did a pre-sale. That was just a filler. That was a fill-out process to see what I can get for these tickets. You know, and that's and those he had some floor tickets for $500 in the pre-sale. You had to have an American Express card to get them. And then when he went on sale, all of those sold. And then when he went on sale, it went up. You know what I'm saying? But I think he went up to $1,500 for the floor.
Yeah, Jay, I appreciate you for correcting people because once again, you know, I just thought Tank didn't even have to bring that up because at the end of the day,
I like Tank.
And we both like Tank, but I just think he gotta chill sometimes.
Well, you know, it's competitive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I like Tank. Tank is a hell of a talent, and he's a good kid, and I respect him. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I do want to see him and Devin mix them up. And the thing of it is, what we fail to realize is when you get to the championship status, there's nothing wrong with losing. There's nothing wrong with being beat by somebody that's a champion like you, that got all the amateur fights that you got. But what it is great is to see is a two. Is you put on the best competitive fight to where that'll generate a 2. And then the 2 will generate a 3. You know, trilogies. You know, these is what we need in boxing. You know what I'm saying? So all these boxers do not be afraid to lose once you obtain or capture a world title or multiple divisions. Because you're gonna come to a point to where you might lose. So like the Errol Spitz thing, you know, he just met somebody that was better than him. And that happens. It's all about the get back. It's nothing wrong with falling. Because if you watch Leonard, watch Sugar Ray Leonard's past fights, he got dropped a couple times. But he came back. Like one in particular I watched, Donnie Lalonde and Sugar Ray Leonard. That was for the
I remember that.
super middleweight title. That's when
I think it was light heavyweight. It was one of them.
It was light heavyweight and super middleweight. It was for both titles. Lalonde had light heavyweight. And they were fighting for 68 super middleweight and 75 light heavyweight. Lalonde dropped Leonard. But Leonard got up, dug deep, and knocked Lalonde out. That's what boxing is about. You're gonna beat people on your level. You just got to dig deep, man. You know. But Floyd Mayweather, you know, I don't respect is. I'm gonna keep it real with you. It was a poster on Facebook or Instagram where they showed Leonard and Hearns 2, the promo poster of Leonard and Hearns 2. Floyd Mayweather said some bullshit like, look at easy work. That's easy work. Those dudes, Floyd is not is near about on their level. Those dudes tried to knock each other out. Those dudes got dropped and got up and kicked ass. And it was way too many of them for Floyd to even fuck with that I really could say that he could compare it to. You had Duran. You had, I'm gonna go a little lighter. You had Aaron Pryor. You had Aaron Pryor. You had Wilfred Benitez. You had Hearns. You had Leonard. You had Hagler a little too big, but you had Hearns and Leonard, and Aaron Pryor beat Hearns as an amateur. You know what I'm saying?
Beat Sugar Ray too.
Beat Sugar Ray. But these is all these motherfuckers that paved the way for you, Floyd, but you want to sit up there and want to call him, disrespect him and call him easy work. You lying to the boxing fanatic. Because they is not easy work. If you was in the era with them, you couldn't fuck with them. Period, point blank.
Well, speaking of Floyd, I wanted to ask you, do you think because of Floyd, the whole undefeated thing, do you think a lot of these fighters got what I call Floyd-itis?
Floyd set a lot of bad examples for the up-and-coming boxing talent. And he's doing it now because he won't move out the way and won't let these kids shine. Then he kind of clowns him and puts him down because Al Richard Schaefer and Steven Espinoza put him in a position to make money. You know what I'm saying? Al Richard Schaefer and Steven Espinoza put Floyd Mayweather in position to make all the money that he's made. You know, and like I say, I'm gonna give you an example. If you look at how Mike Tyson adores Ali, that's a prime example right there. You know what I'm saying? Because Mike Tyson adores Ali because Ali paved the way for Mike Tyson. You know, you don't see Floyd doing that. You know, he put Leonard and Hearns down, and that ain't right. He makes a lot of bad choices, and it does a lot of damage in the sport. You know what I'm saying? Even fighting YouTubers, for exhibition fights, money grabs. You damaging the sport because you got a fighter that may never make the money that the YouTuber that don't have no amateur fights will make. And that ain't fair, man. That's not fair to them.
Yeah, he fighting. For some reason, he fighting Gotti Jr. again.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And you got
in February.
What Floyd do? He do a lot of playing on the naive boxing fanatic. You know, and then he's showing the youngsters how to play on the naive boxing fanatics. And that ain't right, man. You got these youngsters thinking that once they obtain or capture a world title, their dream is to capture a world title. And once they capture the title, you got them thinking that there's something wrong with losing. Ain't nothing wrong with losing. Go in there and fight your best and fight hard. So whereas if you lose, you can go back and review the tape and figure out where you went wrong at and go back and kick ass the next fight. Or if you get dropped in a fight, you kick ass. You dig it up. You know, you make the necessary adjustments before that 12 rounds is up. That's what it's about. Making them necessary adjustments before the 12 rounds is up and execute it.
Man, all right. So there you guys have it. You heard it from Justin McRae. You know, so I appreciate this brother. He was one of my mentors. And I just want to say before we wrap this up, you know, when you run across somebody that got knowledge, and this is something that we have in our community, especially you young cats, when an OG pass knowledge to you, it ain't because he's saying you stupid or you dumb. He trying to elevate you. And that's what I try to do with y'all.
Shut up and listen.
There you have it.
That's all I gotta say. They told me that, man. Shut up and listen. Stop thinking you know every motherfucking thing, because you don't. I don't know everything either. I got to listen. You know what I'm saying? I got to listen. We all got to listen, and we all gotta respect realness when we hear it and use it.
All right,
Don't waste the game that somebody give you.
All right, y'all heard it here from Jay. He'll be at the fight, so whoever coming to the fight, you know, hey Jay, you available for any extra interviews if they see you or anything? You doing any?
Good. If they see me, they know me, they can approach me. It's all good. I'm game.
Yeah. Hey, so it's a Bay Area thing, and just to know, I got his back, he got mine.
It's a Bay Area thing, and it's a boxing thing.
Hey, we out. Oh, that was good shit. Man, let me go change my